What's happening, everybody? Happy today to you. Suburban Hiker checking in today. Day 4 of my 500-mile walk. I'm at St. Patrick's Park in South Bend, Indiana. I'm going to do a little bit of trail hiking today. It's a little breezy out. I thought hiking in the woods might help cut down on the wind. I'm getting ready to get started. So we'll load up the Map My Walk app and get the distance going. And we'll start moving on down the trail. Distance is 0. Duration is 0. We're going to start this workout and see what happens. Here we are, the guard shack. Look at that. No gate fee today. Heck yeah. Park closes at 7. It's not even 2 o'clock. I'm gonna get a trail map. Pets must be on 6-foot maximum leash. County ordinance. Excessive alcohol consumption discouraged. How's everybody doing today? This is going to be mile 11. I'm not sure how many miles I'm going to walk. I didn't come with a plan. The weather's a little questionable. In yesterday's video, I suggested that the sunny days might be changing, and sure enough, it did rain a little bit last night. There's a chance it could rain this afternoon. And if it rains, well, I'll hop in the car and drive home. Because I didn't bring an umbrella. And there's nothing much more annoying than a raindrop falling on the bald spot on your head. Especially when your whole head is a bald spot. Of course, I did bring my hat, but I ditched it. I left it in the car. It's already too warm out for a hat. It's 60 degrees. About 1:30 in the afternoon. Like I said, Thursday, March 28th, 2019. I got a trail map. I think I'll use that in the wrap-up video. Kind of show you where I walked around. I don't feel like goofing with it. It's not the best map in the world. I don't know that the camera will pick it up easily. And I'm not technically on any of the trails yet. I'm on the outskirts of the park. I've hiked here hundreds of times. Pretty much have it all memorized. But I'll get on a trail here in a bit. I'm coming into a pine forest right now. Let me flip this camera around so you can see this. Some pine trees. The cool thing about these pine trees, there's a whole section of them, and they're laid out in a manner that from the sky, there's an aerial view. The pine trees spell out St. Patrick's Park, or just St. Patrick's. That's pretty cool. I've Googled it before. You should Google it. Just Google St. Patrick's Park. You'll find all the data about the park. It's a really neat place. It's about 400 acres, but that's changing. Actually, I think the stated acreage is 398, but it's changing. They've added more to the park in conjunction with Notre Dame. Notre Dame is doing some field research, and they added more trails to the park. I'm not sure how much that adds to it. Maybe the added acreage is already figured into that 398 acres, but there's a couple miles of trail, a little bit of elevation change. It borders on Michigan and actually connects to another park in Michigan. I think it's called Miriam Bertram Park. And apparently, back in the day, St. Patrick's and Bertram Park were connected. But the people that ran the parks didn't quite see eye to eye, so they separated. This path I'm walking on now, it's more of a service road. Runs on the back side of the pine trees that spell out St. Patrick's, and it'll connect up to some walking trails, hiking trails and such over by the St. Joe River. A good chunk of the border of the park is on the St. Joe River. There's also horseback riding trails in here, and in the winter months I do believe they have snowshoe trails and such, and hiking trails. I haven't hiked here in the winter. I've always wanted to, but I tend to forget about it when winter comes around. As I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, it's a little breezy today. And after editing yesterday's video, where I was walking alongside the road, realized how noisy it was, I thought today I'd go to a quieter area, no road noise, and hope that the wooded area would cut down on the breeze and the wind so the camera's microphone doesn't pick that up so much. I've already seen a couple squirrels. Couldn't have been here for more than 5 minutes. It's a great park. Most parks are though, but this one's one of my favorites. Came here a lot. We had a dog that we used to walk. Chaz was his name. He loved coming out here and hiking. And then we also had a little golden retriever at the same time that we had Chaz. Her name was Stella May. She used to walk here with us a lot. She was fantastically behaved dog and wouldn't go farther than 20 foot away from you. Never ran off after anything. Occasionally Chaz would try to run off after animals and such. The dogs we have now, Abby and Charlie, oh my goodness, unruly little dogs, but they're fun. Here we are. We're on the northern border of the park, and right on the other side of that post is Berrien County, Michigan, and the beginning, I think, of Bertram Park. That's a cool park too. I've been there before. I've hiked through it a few times. Look at this cool tree. Wah, wah. No bicycles on trails. Sorry, bike riders. Although I do think they have some bike trails here. I'm not sure. You can Google that. Research it for yourself. There's the St. Joe River. A little bit of elevation there. The trails in the park, they get altered every so often, mostly due to blowdown. Trees get blown down over the trail, and you can either climb over the trees or go around them. I haven't seen where they've actually shut any of the trails down or closed them up ever. It's not the biggest of parks. It's not like you're gonna get lost for days on end out here. Again, it's only about 400 acres, but it's cool. It offers a lot of the features that your bigger national parks offer, just on a smaller scale. Oh, here's a little bit of elevation here going downhill. I'm gonna try not to slip and fall. You might hear kids in the background. Right now I'm not too far from a playground here at the park, but the park's laid out such that even when the kids are really going crazy, you don't hear them that much. Now I'm closer to the river. Let me flip this camera around, get an idea. go. A little bench you can sit at and take a break, relax by the river. You can even fish here. The granddaughter and I have fished here on the river's edge once or twice. I'm not going to go down and take a look, but here's some stairs to go down. Cool. They also offer canoe rentals, canoe trips. Again, you can get all that information online. I think they do it every Thursday. Here's a little stream, creek, whatever. It's feeding into the river. It's pretty still. This runs all the way through the park. We'll cross over it again a couple times. There's a couple streams and creeks that feed into the river. Public access boat launch. A couple pavilions. They even have larger pavilions and barns you can rent. A little canoe landing. Hear that goose? He's reading the sign to you. Here's a general map of some of the trails. These are the major trails that go through the park. We're here. We started over this way. Came through the pines, then down over here. The idea is we're gonna come all the way around over here and just do the outskirt of the trails. Here's a little lookout pier and picnic table. They have several of these in the park. Pretty cool. A couple houses on the other side of the river. A lot of people like the lookout towers and observation decks. I'm indifferent to them. I mean, they talk about a view, but I like seeing things up close. Cool stuff. Here's something right here. How cool is this? That's some of the old blowdown from years ago. They chopped it, made it so you could still pass through. They've been making this thing for years. Granddaughter added some of those sticks to it probably 8 years ago. It's been there for a while. Let's have a look inside, huh? This is so cool. Everybody just kind of adds to it. At least I'm guessing that's what they do. That's what we did. The trail's real soft today. Nice. The dirt's soft, the leaves are soft. Nothing's crunchy or hard yet. Oh, another little stream, brook, whatever you want to call it. Feeds into the river. There's some of that litter I always talk about. Pick up after yourselves, people. Let's look at the other side. There we go. I've walked up the stream, that particular one, a little bit. Again, the granddaughter and I, she's my buddy, but she wanted to follow up the stream a ways, so we did. We just hopped in it.
Split pace 25 minutes 3 seconds per mile.
Holy smokes, I got distracted. We already went 1 mile today. That's mile number 11. I have to keep better track of that. Where was I? Oh yeah, walking up the creek. It was fun. It's nice to get off the beaten path every now and then. Oh, more blowdown. And again, they chopped it and removed it from the trail. It's cool that they left the bark there though. Made a little walk path so you don't have to walk in the mud. Parks like this, they really offer a lot of benefits to regular folk who just like to go out for a walk but don't feel like walking in their subdivision. Maybe they can't go out on a big long backpacking trip or even a big long hiking trip. You can come here, get out in the woods, half hour, hour and a half, whatever. There are a lot of features. We're walking through this area here we're in is just a little bit, it's kind of a wetlands. A lot of muck. Some wooden bridges to get you over the wet part so you can still see it without getting mucky. There's some open fields and meadows in here as well. Had the pine trees that we walked through or walked around. There's some heavier wooded lots and areas. It's a great place to go when you can't go backpacking or on major hikes, but you still can get out there and walk around. I don't know really. There's only minute differences between walking, hiking, and backpacking. I don't think you can't backpack without walking and hiking, but you can walk and hike without backpacking. Benefits of walking: it doesn't cost as much, it doesn't take as much effort or planning. Ultimately, you can just get off the couch and go for a walk. Here's something cool. Let's look at this. Osprey. Once a nesting site is established, an osprey pair will return year after year, adding to the existing structure. How cool is that? They built an osprey nest up here. Can you see it there? Let me see if I can zoom in. I'll try and get a better shot of it as I get around this curve here. But like I was saying, to get up and go for a walk, all you have to do is get up and go for a walk. If you want to go hike through the woods here, well, you get up, hop in the car. For me, it's only a half a mile away. Might be a mile, I don't remember exactly. But I drove here and I'm gonna walk around. I don't have to be sure to carry food and water or anything of that nature. I'm close enough to home. They even have vending machines here. You can buy the stuff you need. Alright, let's get a better view of that nest. Let me zoom in again. It's pretty cool. I've been here when those osprey were in the nest. You see them sitting there and perched. Take off and land a few times. It's pretty neat to watch. But anyways, getting sidetracked again. Like I was saying, you just get out and go for a walk. You don't have to gear up and get ready for it. You can go to the parks, whether they're city, county, state, even national parks, if you're near enough. It doesn't have to be a big, intense ordeal. You can just go hang out for a while, not worry about carrying food, water, and such. As I mentioned, they have vending machines here in one of the pavilions. So if you are getting hungry, you can probably get some snacks, get some drinks. Occasionally, when I go on the longer hikes, and I do plan to be gone for a while, especially with granddaughter, especially when she was younger. Man, that's all she does is eat. Just a tiny little thing, or at least she was. Now she's getting tall and skinny, like her mama, her grandma, her great grandma. The whole family has a skinny gene. I need to get one of those skinny jeans. I think about eating a cupcake and I gain weight. I need to go walk just thinking about it. But we always had to carry food. We'd be gone for a while. And of course, we'd go out on adventures. We had no idea where we were going or when we'd be back. So we had to make sure we have food. But you don't have to do that. It's good idea to do that if you don't know what's going to happen. You're not sure how long you're going to be gone, out walking around. Just take it with you. I used to just carry her school backpack. It's not like we geared up with high-tech, lightweight backpacks. Just snatched up her backpack, throw some bottles of water in there, enough food. Of course, we didn't really even have to do that. We were close enough to, let's see, which way do I want to go? Left or right? I think I'm gonna go to the right. If I go left, I'll go up in a nice little hill. You can see the cabin, but it cuts out some of the mileage. I'm gonna go right. We'll look at the cabin on another day. They have a cabin here you can rent. We'll save that for another trip. I intend to come back here several times. But, like I was saying, we didn't get crazy. We're not trying to be an ultra-light backpacker. We just loaded up, carried it around. Didn't have to, though. Just hop in the car and go home. Well, it looks like some things have changed down here. A lot of blowdown. Might not even be a trail through here anymore. How interesting. I'm gonna scout around and see how this turns out. I'll even take you guys with me. We'll get a look. See what's going on. A little muddy. Nice and soft. Hey, there's some of that awesome litter. Some deer tracks. Might not be able to see that in the camera, but I can clearly see deer tracks. Some fresher blowdown. I haven't been here for a while. It's been at least a year. Which is sad because it's so close to my house. Another little brook. I'm going to suggest there is no trail over there anymore. I do see a sign. I'm going to go see what that sign says. I'm going to shut this off though, just for the time being. And the sign says, no trespassing. Private property beyond this point. What do you know? Well, there you go. Interesting development with the no trespassing sign. There's another little trail. You know, I do believe that that has always been a no trespassing area, and I just got slightly turned around with where I'm at. I'll have to consult the map later when I get home. It's kind of strange. As many times as I've been on these trails, I've been on them so many times that I kind of forget which ones are which sometimes and where certain things are. Because all the trails have little offshoot trails, especially along the river, that they have little trails that lead down to the river bank. This is one of the meadows here behind me. that I was talking about. Once summer kicks in, it all grows in. It's a pretty neat field. Now we're getting away from the river and going in towards a more wooded area. I have a small little hill climb here. There's not a whole lot of mountain climbing in Indiana. There's largely fairly flat land. It's kind of sad. I read about Indiana several years ago. I don't remember all the exact details, but around 150 years ago, maybe a little more, over 80% of Indiana was forested and wooded. And now, less than 20%. There's a lot of corn now, but no, not a whole lot of forest. Here, let's turn this around. We're going uphill a little bit. It's not a major incline. Probably 60 foot higher than the meadow area. But it's enough to get you start breathing heavy. Now I remember where I'm at. And where I thought there was a trail that led to private property, well, that trail is up here and goes to the right. It's been a while since I've been here. Of course, a lot of this looks so different with without any foliage. This park looks completely different in the summertime when there's new growth. I'll be sure to come back and make some videos then too. You can compare and contrast the differences. These there are stairs there. I don't know if you can really tell it. It goes down about 40 feet. There's a little water reservoir and a waterfall and a dam. I hear some construction machinery in the distance. You know what? Let's go down there. I wasn't going to, but let's go down and have a look. Walk down these stairs. Whoop! I don't want to fall. Hurt myself. Send out a distress signal. Old guy down! Old guy down! Here we go. Stairs are made out of old railroad ties, it looks like. I'm not sure exactly what purpose this serves. Little retaining wall. Just a little dam that was put in here. Actually, St. Patrick's Park has a real cool history. Oh, another sign, no trespassing, private property. Beyond that point, we're gonna break the law. Just so I can show you what we're looking at here. How cool is this? Breaching the dam. And then of course this flows down into the Sangville River. Little wooden ladder there for some reason. Alright, let's make our way back up over here. There's a couple bird boxes out there. I don't know if you can see them, birdhouses. I see 3 of them. No idea what type of birds they would be for, but they're pretty cool. Alright, I'm back up on the trail. I have to quit getting sidetracked like that. I'll never get any mileage in. I'll be here all day. Anyways, what's that mean? Anyhow, I was mentioning the history to St. Patrick's Park. It's an old dairy farm, I think it was, and it was run by nuns. I'm telling you, you got to do your own research on this. There's you can find all kinds of it online. How you doing?
Good.
But it was run by nuns. Part of one of the barns here, the red barn, was the old dairy barn for their cattle. They're milking cows. And they used to farm this land and supply food to Notre Dame. For real. You do some research, learn the history. It's really cool. I think you'll like it. A couple of the creeks there that feed the dam we were looking at. Little marshy land down there. There's a trail you could, I don't know if it's a trail or not, but you could scurry down there easily enough and see what's up. Maybe I'll do that one day. I'm at 1.98 miles, and I don't want to miss. There's a group of people up here hiking today. Looks like about 7 or 8 people, family. Where are we at here? 2 miles. Let's see what we get.
Total distance 2 miles. Total time 50 minutes and 14 seconds. Split pace 25 minutes 11 seconds per mile.
There you go. Another mile on my way to 500. My 500-mile walk. That's 12 miles in. Look at that. We have more hikers coming. Everyone say hi.
Hi.
Told you it's a great day to be out here at the park, hiking trails. I'm not the only one who thinks so. Anyhow, like I was saying, that's mile number 12. On my way to 500. How awesome. I know it's not going to be easy to get to 500, but it's going to be fun. So far, I'm loving it. I love all this trail hiking. A lot of times, hiking and backpacking, that requires more preparation than just going for a walk. You have to figure out how long you're going to be gone for. Especially if you're doing overnight backpacking, hiking, you know, you have to concern yourself with shelter, carry your tent or tarp or bivvy, whatever you use. You have to carry food, have to make sure you have water, or at least have access to water. How to filter it, what kind of filtration system to use, what'll work for you. You know, a lot of times if you're camping, you're going to need a permit, especially in the national parks. Backpacking is great stuff too. But if you can't do all that, you just need to get out in the woods and go for a walk, well, that's where your county parks and city parks come in handy. They're all over the place. Not a whole lot of cost involved in just going for a walk or a hike. But once you get to backpacking, camping trips, through hikes, such, well, then there's some cost. You need to carry more gear, food, lodging, you know. You have to be able to clean yourself, your belongings, that type of stuff. If you have children, taking them out hiking, taking them out into the woods can be a lot of fun for them. This is all brand new to them. They've not seen any of this stuff if you haven't taken them before. And to see the fascination on their face. We used to come here with the granddaughter. We'd bring a notebook and pencil. We'd make a list of all the wildlife we see and how many of each. Squirrels, turtles, deer, birds. That was always fun. Then we get home and read about those animals. And here's something out there. Probably just a squirrel. There's quite a few squirrels. I have seen deer out here. And of course turtles. Wild turkeys. Of course I've seen wild turkeys in my subdivision. We're taking over their space, but they're not leaving. How you doing? Another hiker getting his steps in. I've already passed him once. He's making pretty good time through here. I know people that'll take cameras out and try to get pictures of all the wildlife they see. That's a cool thing to do too. Instead of shooting guns, shoot your camera. Of course, shooting guns is fun too. I do that as well. I haven't for a long time, but I've done it. This is a cool little, let me spin around. Coming into an open field here. This part of the park runs along Laurel Road, which is the entrance road to the park. In the dead of summer, this little area I just showed you, man, it gets loaded with grasshoppers. And you walk through here and it's like some Jiffy Pop popcorn or something. There's thousands of them start bouncing all over. It's pretty cool. Here, let me spin this camera around. Picture of the windmill blowing in the wind. Can you see it there? Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Cool little covered bridge. And then of course this area we just walked through, so there's a few trees here. This was an apple orchard that used to supply apples to Notre Dame. Let me spin this around. Are we with? There you go. You're back. Let me get on this creek here. Let's see this creek. Cool. Let's go to the other side. Hey. Anyhow, on this side of the bridge, let me walk backwards and maybe you can see there's some more apple orchard behind me. There's also some grapevines right here. Sorry about my camera work, try not to get motion sickness. Grapevines and the apple orchards. Flip it back around. Whoop, whoop, there we are. They still produce apples and grapes. I'm telling you, Google the park and the history of it. It's a really neat story. I want to say the nuns that ran it were a part of St. Mary's, which is affiliated with Notre Dame. Matter of fact, I believe it is a part of Notre Dame. I'm sorry, I'm not overly well versed about Notre Dame. I know some of it, mostly because I'm not a sports fan. I don't follow football or much basketball, any of that stuff. Of course, that's how most people know Notre Dame football. Like I say, I don't really follow football, but the school is awesome. Academically, they really pump out some good students, smart kids. It's kind of funny. Being a musician, I'm really familiar with party schools, party colleges and such. And I can tell you, Notre Dame is not a party school. Oh, let me show you this feature. It's a cool little pavilion. Those are grapevines. Let's go inside here. How cool is this? The grapevines growing over the top. Looks like they cut away on this side and put new lattice up. Same on that side, but they intertwined and managed to maintain the vines. How fantastic. That's really cool. Call that the the grape house of whoa. My girlfriend and I used to sit in there and tease the kids that that's what it was really called. The grape house of whoa. We get a kick out of it. It was fun, tormenting the children with our love. But anyways, like I was saying, Notre Dame, as an academic school, in my subdivision, some of the quietest neighbors I ever had, and this has happened several times, were Notre Dame students. The parents would buy a house for them, and the students would live there while they go to school. Never see them, never hear a peep out of them until they graduate and moving out. Those were my favorite neighbors, by the way. The quiet ones. Another open field. A couple little pine trees. More pavilions, picnic tables. That's some pretty cool stuff. Let me check my mileage here. See how far I want to go. I'm at 2.64. I'm going to cut through. We'll go look at the tubing hill. That's right. They have a big tubing hill for winter activities. And I do believe they even have a snow machine to assist Mother Nature in creating a nice surface for tubing. Oh, open field. There's the wind. I'm sure the microphone's picking it up. Still not sure how far I'll walk today. Might stop at 3 miles. Might go to 4. Kind of have stuff to do. A little later I have to get ready for. I'm gonna hope this weekend I'm gonna try and pour it on. I haven't, like I said in my earlier videos, these are my first few walks of the year, so I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to wear myself out and make it so I'm too tired to walk. I don't want to develop blisters on my feet. I started to after the first day, but I just switched shoes and it took care of that. I don't have any problems there. We'll see. Largely due to the nature of my work, I am in fairly good shape. So I don't know if I'll really wear myself out. I've been looking at the math and the amount of steps taken as I walk 3 miles. It's right around 10,000 steps. Well, one day at my work is usually over 20,000 steps. So I'm not wearing myself out too much as I walk. And I'm not carrying 4x8 sheets of decking, drywall, 2x12 lumber, stuff of that nature. This little path goes up to the tubing hill. It's the tubing hill here on the left. But we're gonna walk all the way up it. I could have taken a shortcut and just went straight up it. But for the sake of getting steps and getting the miles, I'm gonna go the long way. It's got a little switchback to it, so you don't have to climb straight up it. We'll take a look from this angle. Got walking ropes. You don't need them in the summer, but in the winter when it's covered with snow. Here's the snow machine. Walking up that hill in the winter with snow is a little tricky. That's why they have the switch back here, so you can get that height without slipping back down, and it keeps everyone out of the way of the tubers going down. Of course, that's part of the fun of sledding, if I remember correctly as a kid. trying to take your brothers out as they were coming back up the hill. We used to play a game. We had two opposing hills, and we used to play a game. I think we called it Kill. Basically, it was demolition derby for sleds. Go down at the same time, go down feet first, try and kick everyone off their sleds. Here's our hill. There's still a little bit of snow there, right in the middle. 60 degrees, you'd think it'd melt away. I'm not sure how high this hill is, but it's a good ways up there. There's the river in the distance. That's one of the boat docks that we looked at as we got here, as I started the video. Now I'm just gonna make my way down this steep hill. This thing's probably gotta be 80 foot high. Perhaps if you Google it, you can find out. I'm also wondering if that snow that's left on the hill, if that might not be the artificial snow from their snowmaker. It could be. Either way, it's snow, and it's still there. I mentioned in yesterday's video, day before yesterday, that it generally snows all the way up till Easter. I know days like this when it's 60, everyone gets excited, wants to open their windows and they act like summer's here. Nah, it'll drop back down to 20 degrees. Be cold for a few weeks, but it is on its way, and I'm happy about that. There's one of the ponds on the property here. A couple geese, live action. Nice little deck, whatever you want to call it. This is where the granddaughter caught her first fish. Pretty nice sized fish for her. I think she was 7 or 8 at the time. Oh, 8-inch bass. It's not very deep. At least it never looks deep until you're in there trying to touch bottom and you can't reach it. Alright, I'm getting carried away. I could stand here all day watching those things. I gotta get mileage in. I think we're about done. I'm at 2.90 miles. Whoa. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I'm at 2.90 miles. I think what I'm gonna do is get to 3 miles and head to the house. Like I say, I have some other stuff I have to do today. Get taken care of. As much as I'd love to stay here for a few more hours. Oh my gosh, that would be fantastic. I have to go back to actually practicing that balance that I was preaching in yesterday's video. I have to balance my activities, my time, my interests, my responsibilities. It's not so fun being an adult sometimes. Oh, they built a little bridge. It used to just be a bunch of rocks and a tree. Let's turn this around. This is a cool little feature. Look at this. How cool is that? All right. Here I am. I'll go up on the back side of this. I'm sweating. Wiping sweat away from my brow. Oddly enough, of all the times I've come to this park, I tend to walk the same direction every time. I've never seen this though, because I've never come this side. You know what? I have seen this before, except for I've come from the other direction. Oh, here I am. Phone says 3 miles.
Total distance 3 miles. Total time 1 hour 14 minutes and 2 seconds. Split pace 23 minutes 44 seconds per mile.
Man, oh man, time is going by fast today. 3 miles. I'm not too far from the car. I'll get this wrapped up. Shoot the wrap-up ending for the video and figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. Thanks for walking along and following. Drop some comments down below. Any questions you have, anything you want to talk about, anything you might want me to talk about or not talk about, let me know, and I'll try to answer everything I can. It's a lot of fun making these videos. It's keeping me motivated on my 500-mile walk. I'm having fun. Can't wait to come back. Like I said, there's more trails on the other side of the park that are just as long as the one I just did. And I only did half the trails that are in the park because there are as many that intersect and cut through the park as that goes around the outside of the park. And of course it's connected to the Bertram Park, and there's trails up there, and then the new trails on the other side of the park I was talking about that are in conjunction with Notre Dame and the research they're doing. Anyways, Suburban Hiker, getting ready to wrap it up here. I am at my car. Let's see what my walk says. Waiting for it to register up. Let's pause that. Hold the finish.
Workout pause. Workout finish.
3.10 miles. An hour and 16 minutes. You might notice I didn't do the Fitbit today. And that is because the Map My Walk app also tracks the steps that I take. And that was the only reason I was using the Fitbit. I'm still wearing it, but I'm trying to see how many steps I've taken. It's hard to use the app with just my thumb, and I don't know. 7,753 steps on this 3-mile trek on a breezy Thursday afternoon, South Bend, Indiana, St. Patrick's Park. Like I said, Google it, read all about it, set up a plan, bring yourself here, walk around and see it for yourself. It's a cool place to be, and I'll definitely be coming back. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to upload every day, at least until I get to the 500-mile point. I don't see why I wouldn't. I don't see why I can't. I'm going to try and make some of these videos shorter. Of course, every time I say that, I end up making a longer video. I don't know why that's working out that way, but it is. Anyhow, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, drop some comments down below, questions, whatever you want. Suburban Hiker, check it out.